there are people here who just recently completed the master's class, so I'd love for you to hear from, and then open it up to questions and or comments or anything that we can support you with, those of you who are looking at possibly participating in this class. So of those of you who are here who've taken it before, do any of you have anything that stand out for you as a personal experience around the course that might be of value for the people who are new to here? We didn't prep them, they didn't necessarily know we were going to do this, but I'm asking.
Rachel?
Rachel.
Oh, we're going to actually mic it. All right.
So, for me, is this okay here? I mean, I feel like I'm standing in front
That's
of
all right. I don't need to be on camera. It's okay.
I had different intentions with this master's class. I went in there having done a lot of personal growth work. I know I've shared this with some of you. So I wasn't anticipating, I'm a constant student as well. So no matter where I am, whether I'm facilitating a seminar or a participant, I'm always going, how can I expand, how can I grow? So I knew I was going to get value. However, I didn't have a clue I was going to get the value I received. And I was so pleasantly surprised. Couple things about it. One is, and this is like, to me, it would have been almost impossible for me to stay stuck. That's how I felt. That's the buoyancy that gets created by the group. So it's like I would have had to resist beyond anything I've ever resisted to not grow. That was my first experience. And the other thing is there was a kind of a magic with setting, like once I got clear on what it was that I wanted for myself, and I did have an outer manifestation that I wanted, and I had a very clear inner one, so much support, and it goes on. I mean, just the other day, I was working with one of the concepts we work with, and I'm working with a personal trainer, and I shifted into this positive place that we worked a lot in the class, and went from, I can't do one more pull-up to, it was like miraculous. And it's like, that was just a small example. But the same thing with the internal piece. Like I personally worked with liberation as an intention. And I found to this day, like I am still breaking through my own internal rules. Like, well, I'd say to myself, well, I'm the person that could never sleep with a window open. All those things are out the window. Like whatever I've done for all these years of my life, there's such a freedom in my consciousness, and I consider that for me is part of what took place in this class. So those are a couple examples.
That's great. So you can't sleep with the window open, so you threw them out the window.
I knew it. I knew Joey's going to give me trouble.
I like teasing my Rachel.
He does.
Thanks. Let's give her a hand. Thanks. Any other person that participated wants to? Yeah, Richard.
Thanks. Hi, my name is Richard. I want to say that start off is coming from a different culture. I'm looking around and I'm the only Asian around, so I'm different in that sense. But I want to stress that I was looking at it from a perspective of when I come in here and do it, what investment, when I'm investing my time, what returns am I going to get? Okay, and I was looking at it from the perspective of the dollars and cents. And when I left the program, it was like, why did I even look at it in this perspective anyway? Because the value I got from it was multiplied so many times. It's as though I'm here, and when I graduated, I looked like that guy over there. Okay. And if any of you are looking for that angel within you to come out and flourish, I invite you to discover it for yourself. One practical example. I went hiking on a Caribbean island a while back, a couple, 2-3 weeks back, and I was lost because I've never been on this hiking track before. And I kept walking in the midday sun, and it was probably 85, 90 degrees, humid. I was totally lost, and I tuned inside and I went, okay, what did I learn from the master's class that I can apply here? One of them was intuitive trusting myself and trusting spirit. And I kept asking, okay, spirit, I know I'm lost, so give me a sign, tell me which way to go. And I kept getting the signal, I think you've gone beyond where you're supposed to go, turn back. So I turned back, and lo and behold, I met this Jeep driver who is a guide, and he says, you know, I've never seen anybody hike this trail before. This is a Jeep trail, you're crazy. Okay? And he said, okay, I'm going to give you signs where we're going. He and I were going to the same location, but he couldn't give me a ride. So it was about 2-3 miles hike. For me, it was 2-3 miles on a Jeep, no problem, right? So he ended up on the coast where I was supposed to be. He started timing me, okay? He when I would arrive. 20 minutes after I arrived, there was about 2-3 mile hike. And he looked at me and he goes, who the heck are you? You know? Nobody hikes this trail, and you're the first guy I've come across who's done this. And not because I'm physically, you know, able to do it, it's because I trusted the inner self, the inner wisdom that I kind of took out and polished it during the master's class and found it and said, okay, I can use that more for myself. So that's my contribution.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like we really trust people to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the spring master's class, and the things that come to me to say is, first of all, what you said, grace and ease. The buoyancy, as Rachel said, of the class made things that might have seemed very difficult to me not difficult. And I have a sort of a history of wanting things to be really hard. So that was a really big surprise. And then the other piece was the integration. I was able to integrate some of the fantastic learning I'd had, or insights, pardon the expression, I'd had in the other insight levels in a way that I can live them. I mean, that's what I sort of hoped would happen. So I was like, oh, you know, after insight 2, you know, explosion, but how do I keep that present for me on a day-to-day basis? And the class really provided a opening that has made that happen for me. And it's pretty magical. And then the other thing is just the groups, the synergy of the group was amazing. And I have, you know, some people I don't talk to all the time, although we do have a Facebook page and we communicate, but I just feel so, I could call any of those people and have a, you know, have a 2-person mastermind that would transform me. You know, it's just run, don't walk to the class, that's all.
Sure. Can I share?
Sure.
My name's Carol, and I was in the last master's class also. And whenever anybody asks me what was one of the greatest values I received from it, it has to do with that field of loving. And I've said many times after day 2 of weekend 1, I was in love with everyone. And I felt like everyone was in love with me. And there was such an incredible support that there was no question that we would all succeed. And between session 2 and 3, I started facilitating a class myself on a very difficult subject about death and dying. And I was able to bring that beautiful field of loving from the master's class into this class that is so difficult to talk about. And I got comments from the students that this was the safest class they ever experienced, and felt at ease talking about something that was really challenging for all of us. So I can't advocate enough for how beautiful it was and still is for me, and the people that took my class.
Thank you, Carol.